All right, this is Rudy. It's September the 11th, 2016. I had previously sent Schaeffer Cox a question while listening to his audio interview with FBI Special Agent Richard Sutherland. FBI Special Agent Richard Sutherland clearly claims credit for initiating the FBI investigation against Schaeffer, which I don't believe for a second. FBI agent Richard Sutherland claims that he was the one who initiated the investigation and that the Department of Justice was responding to his so-called finding of facts. Well, I asked Schaeffer, I said, do you have any idea on who initiated your investigation? And here's what he responded with. And I wanted to read it to everyone and put this on the record, or at least in the public domain. Okay, this is Schaeffer responding and writing back to my question. Okay, in the spring of 2008 at the Alaska Republican Convention in Anchorage, I came on the scene as a well-spoken political force. I absolutely dominated the whole event in a good way that everyone liked. I spent more time at the podium than anyone else, and I had more influence than any group of people. The lieutenant governor asked me to run for office from the convention floor. Sarah Palin pulled me aside and asked me to support replacing the party chairman. And all the Ron Paul people thought I was a rock star who would lead the way to the promised land. This was during the height of Polar Pen, which was run by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Anchorage. The FBI was there watching. They were just trying to maintain their gangster-type control of Alaska's political landscape. They saw me and said to themselves, we better get this charismatic young man in our pocket or crush him completely. Needless to say, I took door number 2. This is the first time they got their eye on me. It was also the first time I met Bill Fulton. He was at the convention. He pulled me aside and tried to get me to rig an internal election. I brushed him off and didn't even remember his name. It wasn't until 2 years later in 2010 when I met him for the second time at Blondie's when he held the knife to Les's throat that I even put 2 and 2 together that he was the same drunk asswipe from the convention. Events that were turning points are as follows. Spring of 2008, Alaska GOP convention, Schaeffer Cox becomes a breakout political star. Okay, that was in spring of 2008. Summer of 2008, Schaeffer Cox gets 38% in the state house race. No real change. Winter of 2008, Schaeffer Cox keeps campaigning, draws tens of thousands to Second Amendment town halls, etc. The FBI really worried. All of 2009, Schaeffer Cox learns of government's drug/child prostitution ring. State police, especially Ron Wall, panic. Fall of 2009. Schaeffer Cox gets huge public support as he organizes the Liberty Bell to collect evidence of government's crimes. Fairbanks Police Department sends in 3 CIs. I think CI is a confidential informant. And then he puts Bennett, Menino, and Morris. I'm familiar with Aaron Bennett and Chris Menino. This Morris seems like I remember Wendy Williams with the OCS lady. Morris. Why do I not recognize that name? I'll have to investigate that. If you guys are hearing this and you remember who Morris is, let me know. In any event, okay, spring of 2010. Confidential informants fail to uncover any crime. State and feds team up to file bogus child neglect complaint. Followed by bogus Liberty Bell arrest. Followed by OCS trying to take Seth. Followed by Fulton's knife attack at Blondie's when we refused his violent suggestions. Followed by MPs, I think that would be MP Stephen Gibson. Followed by MPs telling us that cops are plotting murder. Followed by us moving out of our house for our safety. Followed by RJ getting the OCS complaint dropped. Followed by a few months of calm. Followed by Bree being born. followed by a renewed death threat ultimatum from Fulton in February of 2011, followed by trying to escape to Canada, followed by J.R. Olson sabotaging our car and holding us hostage in an attic for 21 days in fear of our life, followed by a botched attempt to murder me at the takedown, followed by my arrest and show trial, followed by half a decade in a secret prison that commits war crimes on the regular, followed by this email, Schaeffer Cox. That's quite a timeline of events. It's quite a horrific thing we're allowing to happen in our country. And may God have mercy on everyone who understands what's happening to Schaeffer Cox and decides to remain quiet about it. As for me, we ain't going to remain quiet about it.